is called Service of Open Public Finances Research and Analysis System 007 offers new tools for public control of state institutions and enterprises. We have Natalya Kravchenko, Project Director, Viktor Lyakh, President of the East Europe Foundation, and Artem Borymskyi, lawyer. Good morning, dear colleagues. I'm Natalya Kravchenko. I'm a project director of the Research and Analysis System 007, and I would like start from description of our project. This is the research search engine, so to say, to look for data about public finance, which allows people to control public spending. Our service uses data from different sources of e-data. Here you see them on the slide. Having united all these open registers, we try to add a value, reorganizing them, representing the picture, which allows to analyze and monitor how the funding is spent. You can find our website address 007.com.ua. Many people try to observe how public funding are spent, public funds are spent, and we allow people to have a picture in the geographical split of funding, and you can search in line with geographical points or by services, electricity, heating, hot water. You also can share your finding with your friends or on Facebook, email it, etc. Also, we decided to go deeper in public spending, and the matter is that not all the governmental organizations publicize information about their spending, so we decided to fill in this blank spot. So our additional services allows to stimulate such organizations. We have collected information about those organizations which publicize their information in different internet resources, and this allows to see those government agencies and authorities which do not do this. And as of today, we are the only resource allowing to work with this information. So this chart shows how intensively state institutions use funding. This reflects how often they feel in their individual electronic cabinets on websites. This chart shows whether the public organizations had registered their cabinets. Also, we had united such an option. We have added such an option that you can click and find information from other registers who is CEO of this or that agency, the date when the electronic cabinet was registered, how it is maintained, updated, etc. Also, we have added an option allowing to see the transactions of the organization which were carried out via state treasury accounts. Currently, we work on the on such an option that the system itself would automatically produce letters to CEOs of different state enterprises and organizations, reminding that they have not, for example, established their electronic cabinet, their webpage, and they have to do this. Thank you for your attention. That will do, Natalya. Thank you. I would like to invite now Artem Borymskyi, lawyer. I would like to point out your attention to some legal aspects about the spending of public finance. In line with Ukrainian legislation, there is no specific authority which has to control and supervise this public spending. Who should be responsible for incomplete information added to the registers? Although the responsibility in line with legislation for incomplete or wrong, intentionally wrong information, the responsibility is insured via special fine up to 800 hryvnia. So who has to impose this fine in case of administrative offense? In line with Ukrainian legislation, this should be done by authorized people appointed by the Ombudsman of Ukraine. Then there's a case should be filed to court about this negligible fine. Again, in line with Ukrainian legislation about access to public information, the information owners should disclose public information. In line with other law about public spending, the information about public finance and public spending should be disclosed on a special website. So, when we reveal any fact that any state enterprise or agency breaches both those laws, we have the right to appeal to the CEO of this organization and request that this violation should be corrected. or apply to the authorities and request for disciplinary responsibility for these people. Or we may apply to court and request for administrative fine for those CEOs. All those algorithms, how we should act, are developed by the lawyers in our project, and you also can find this on our website. Good afternoon, I'm Viktor Lyakh. I'm representing East Europe Foundation. We provide support for the EGAPP project. This is Ukrainian-Swiss joint program aimed at extending access for Ukrainian citizens to the electronic data. We have been working with the team of this program for 2 years. We also started with our cooperation 2 years ago from the e-data portal, which enabled us to continue this work and to create this new portal which we present today. We started with the first approach to very raw data, which were presented by a variety of state institutions. At current stage, we are able to analyze available data and to raise an issue about possible omissions and additional loopholes for corruption. I believe that this portal might be useful both for the prosecutors, for local authorities, and it is very informative. Today, we have made a next step from collection of useful data to the more analytical approach to which allows us to analyze collected data and to back up any requests from on behalf of Ukrainian public to the authorities. What next? Further, we will continue our work. We will present the opportunities of this system, and we will continue to fill in the data and encourage organizations to do this. Also, we would like to involve our civil society partners, which would to a work which would allow to adapt this website to the local needs. We have now a good team of partners which will develop a new portal. For example, in Dnipropetrovsk, we have a portal which is called the Public Inspector, which allows to people to analyze how money from the municipal budget are spent for example, schools, kindergartens, etc. And actually, we allow people to not just to see the violations in public spending, but to immediately submit electronic appeals pointing out these violations. I believe that this information would allow local authorities spend public money more transparently. So 007 on the one hand, allows people to see what's going on in the sector of public spending. On the other hand, it allows to prevent corruption. So I encourage you to use this system as much as possible. Any questions, if any? Шович Марина, 2000 newspaper. My question is as follows: whether an organization can hide any transactions and how we can reveal them. The treasury transactions which were published on our 007 portal, these are data that we get from the treasury, which in everyday mode arrives to the e-data electronic portal. This is done automatically, and thus state institutions are unable to hide anything, since the transaction goes via state treasury. Any further questions? One more question. Are all the state state institutions registered on your portal? The registration of state institutions should be done on the e-data portal. We take this information in one of my slides. I showed that around 43% of budget spenders are now registered on this website. Thank you for your briefing. See you later. The next event will be at 11.